Today, I wanted us to look at the power of the immigrant mentality or mindset. In 2016, I happened to be doing some work for an international multinational company in a town called Eldoret in Kenya, about 460 kilometers from Nairobi. And I came across a baker who does cookies and cakes and everything, and I don't want to mention names. And that particular family business started in that town, but they were not the family were not the original people in that community. They had moved away from places around Nairobi town, 400 kilometers, and started a small cottage business of making cakes. Today, that cake maker, that cookie maker, was able to bring back the same business back to the major town in Kenya called Nairobi, and they have several branches. The power of the immigrant mentality. In 2016, the study that was done in Europe showed that 40% of the businesses in that continent were owned by immigrants, people who had come from far-flung countries, from either Israel, they had come from India, Far East Asian countries, and they had settled in Europe, and they were the ones who were thriving. So there are some characteristics that help to build the power of the immigrant mindset. The first one is look for opportunities everywhere. So when these communities settle in a new neighborhood, in a new place, far, far away, in East Africa, we had the story of the Indian coolies who came to work on the East African Railway, providing labor. But then as they finished working and the railway line was done, they set up shops. They set up small outlets where they would sell, normal merchandise. And those Indian coolies are the billionaires and the millionaires that you have in Kenya in terms of businesses. The fourth, fifth generation are the ones who are leading businessmen in Kenyan country. The power of the immigrant mentality. So they look for opportunities everywhere. The second characteristics that gives you the power of the migrant mentality is stay on your toes. This is where you ensure that you are working 24/7. You are looking for opportunities everywhere. You don't settle. You have this element of being up every moment. Stay on your toes, even in your career. As you begin and you are looking, don't look for the big opportunities to begin with. Look for those small opportunities and stay agile. Now we are speaking about the power of agility. Stay agile in your ideas, stay agile in your contributions, stay agile in putting in the extra effort. Stay on your toes. The third characteristics that builds the power of the immigrant mentality that is synonymous to success is retaining an entrepreneurial attitude. If you read a book called The Jewish Phenomena, it speaks about how Jews have settled in Europe and the US and Canada, and they have remained together as people, and they have always been looking for entrepreneurial opportunities wherever they go. We are told about one of the co-founders of Google, Sergey Brin. They were Russian Jews immigrants who came and started working in the US. And today, he is a leader of one of the biggest global organizations and companies that you are aware of. So retain the entrepreneurial attitude. Fourth important characteristic that builds the power of the migrant mindset is stay with your passion. Stay focused on your passion. Esther Lauder, the owner, one of the ladies most successful in US on the cosmetics industry, Esther Lauder, the family was a Hungarian immigrants. They came from Hungary with nothing, settled in the US, and the family was able to build wealth over time to the level whereby she became one of the major players in the cosmetics industry and brought fresh and new ways. She was the first person who brought in the idea of giving gifts to his salespeople, that they would be able to be in a competitive sales contest, and the person who imagines her and the May Cosmetics were the first people to give gifts to salespeople, even in form of Cadillacs and very big investments to encourage that passion. So stay with your passion. Lastly, the way and a characteristic of an immigrant mentality is the lunchbox mentality. In Kenya, if you are familiar with the Asian community, the Indian community, they go to work carrying a lunchbox. They never eat in hotels. Even if somebody is a millionaire, billionaire many times, food is made at home, they carry it using a lunchbox. So stay with the mentality of a lunchbox. Why do they do that? It saves you so many things. One, the cost of eating in a hotel. Of course, those savings go back to their businesses. It also ensures you get clean, well-prepared food. Of course, they are very keen on how they eat. Most of them are vegetarians, but retain the power, what we also call the white belt mentality. When you are a karateka, when you are a martial artist, generally, for you to retain your swiftness and your ability to make blocks and everything, you got to retain the white belt mentality. That means you're always on your toes. It means you don't relax. The lunchbox mentality means those Asians remind themselves and even their families that we have not made it yet. We are yet to make it, even if they are billionaires, millionaires many times. The last bonus point that I would wish to share about how to create and develop the power of the mindset of the immigrant mentality is that you should have a generous spirit. Most of these communities, they have founded foundations that are run by the families that give to causes, social causes that are of concern to the countries they have moved in. It could be a government cause. It could be, for example, a children's home. It could be, for example, maybe some community projects like water, pan development, but they always give back to the community. And they teach this around the dinner table of the children. So, as we start this new year, remember, be willing to start from the bottom up. Be willing to hustle it from down there as you build your career or business, because that is how you develop the power of the migrant mentality.